Under the Full and Crescent Moon is the debut novel from Milton author Aamir Hussain. It imagines a young woman defending her city during the Islamic Golden Age, and Aamir joins us now with more. This is very much a piece of speculative historic fiction, but it comes from a base of, I love in your bio, it says you were raised by a family of strong women, and you can tell that in your book.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, it's like they are the inspiration for my story, because I think the women in my family, they're just as accomplished as the men, and the expectations for my sister, my cousins, are exactly the same as they were for me. And I find that they don't come out too often. I mean, like, they seem to be a little bit erased in terms of, like, when people talk about, like, our communities and things like that. And I wanted to showcase them, and I think the story has a lot of inspiration from that.
Right. The story is set in the 8th or 9th century.
Yep.
And it focuses on one woman who's kind of following in her father's footsteps, but is really changing things. But she's kind of an anomaly in the empire.
Yes. So it is. It's set in a city that's completely imagined, even though the time period is very specific. And the unique thing about that city is that it is already run by women, because of some various historical circumstances that is explained in the book. And but the legal system is very male-dominated still. And so, since her father is in that space, she takes inspiration from her father, but then
as she learns from him.
She learns from him, but as she goes in the story, she kind of makes her own decisions, and they have both good and bad consequences.
There's a very powerful group in this book called the Circle of Mothers, and I just love that idea. But it's fictional. It is fictional. But and this is one thing that was very interesting when I finished writing the book, and I started, doing the marketing and things like that. I discovered that there is actually a strong tradition of Muslim matriarchies in Southeast Asia and in Indonesia and places like that, which I was completely unaware of. And a part of the inspiration of the book is that we have, like, this very specific idea of Muslims, but we're all over the place. There's a lot of diversity within us, and there are, as we go in, like, different parts of the world, there are places where Muslim women are in charge. There's not just one story and one voice, right? There are many. Where was exactly the seed for this idea? What made you think that, okay, this is enough for a novel?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's like, again, like, it's like, for one thing, it's part of my personal history. Not only was I born into a family, like you said, of strong women, but I also grew up in Saudi Arabia in the 80s and the 90s. And at that time, Saudi Arabia was kind of all of the stereotypes that you think of. Women aren't allowed outside without a male relative. Women aren't allowed to drive. All of those things were true. Like, Saudi Arabia is changing now, but they were certainly true when I was growing up. So I was always comfortable with the idea that there's a lot of different ways to be authentically Muslim, and Islam means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But when I come here, obviously it's like a little bit flatter when you think about things. Like, when you think about different communities, you just have, like, kind of the stereotype. So it's just that information that I had, the lived experience I had, and just trying to get that out to the world.
And you got it out in a beautiful story.
Okay.
Just a beautiful story.
Thank you.
And I love you were telling me you wrote most of this on the GO train.
Yes, I wrote most of this on the GO train. That was the time that I had in the morning commute. I worked downtown Toronto, and then,
In tech.
That is my day job.
So you wrote, and you were starting the ideas of it. You were getting the notes of it when you were living. You were taking the subway.
I was living, because I moved around the GTA.
Yeah.
I was living in North York, Yonge and Finch, end of the subway line at that time, and so I was taking the subway down all the way downtown, and that's like a good 40-45 minutes, and that's where I was doing the research and, like, preparing for the novel mostly. And then I moved out to Mississauga, and then taking the GO train in, and that I had my laptop, and I was just, like, pounding away. Not every day. There were a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
Like, there were, like, times where I was not touching the book at all, but then when I got serious about it, it was just, like, very consistently chopping away at it on the way home and on the way to work.
Okay.
That's when I got it done.
Glad you persevered. Glad those GO trains worked for you. Under the Full and Crescent Moon is out now. I know that you've got a number of appearances at local bookstores in Hamilton area. So we'll get all your socials up on our website so people can find out more about the book. Thanks very much. So nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Get that up at chch.com/morninglive.